Welcome to Raise Nation Radio, the podcast for nonprofit movers, shakers, and change makers. We are here to fuel your passion with a daily dose of fundraising inspiration while keeping the conversations and connections from the annual Raise Conference alive all year long. Tune in for fresh perspectives, bold strategies, and the hottest trends lighting up the nonprofit world. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, buckle up. Each episode is packed with lively discussions, expert insights, and creative solutions to help you make an even bigger impact. Now get ready for another exciting episode. Please welcome your host from One Cause, Dawn Lego.
Hello, Raise Nation. I'm Dawn Lego. So glad you joined us. Whether you're discovering us for the very first time or have been part of our story for a while, welcome. And around here, we celebrate purpose, passion, and the people who make impact possible. So let's get comfy and let's dive into this week's episode. One of my favorites, we're talking data, but this is really special because the insights are going to blow your mind. They're actionable, and we're really going to tell a story about auction and first ever research. But I don't want to steal their thunder, so please help me welcome to Raise Nation Radio guests who've been with us before, and I believe you know them already. My peers, my friends, my colleagues at One Cause, Carrie Wozniak and Sarah Sebastian. Carrie, Sarah, welcome back to Raise Nation Radio.
Thanks, Dawn. Appreciate you having me. My name is Carrie Wozniak, Chief Marketing Officer for One Cause, and Sarah.
Thank you. I'm Sarah Sebastian. I'm the Director of Corporate Communications here at One Cause. I head up our research, so I'm particularly excited to be here today. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, this research is just out of the park. It's just going to help really transform auctions and answer some questions to some debates too that's out there that we want to solve. But Carrie, I really would love to start with you. Tell me the why, right? One Cause is a thought leader in the nonprofit space. We take research very seriously. We've put out a lot of research, but this is new. So what's the why behind this report? Why did you feel as a leader of marketing at One Cause that this was a direction you wanted to take?
Yeah, when I think about this report, it's the first ever of its kind, the state of auction report. And the reason why we wanted to do this was really we're seeing our customers be successful with their auctions, and we really want to share some new benchmarking trends, some tools, some insights and tips. What we did, Dawn, with this study is we really asked some extra questions at our Giving Experience study, the survey that we do with over 1,000 social donors that are actually surveyed. What's great is it's anyone that participated in the last 12 months in an event, peer-to-peer, a run, walk, ride, a challenge, a giving day, an online campaign, and they gave in the last 12 months. So we really honed in on auction participants and looked at some trends from those particular people. And that's where a lot of this data came from. So that's why we're excited about it to share. You hear all sorts of people say our auction's worth it. And this data and some of the insights in here are going to share, hey, you know what? I think it is. So with that, I'll kind of turn it back over to you, Dawn.
Yeah, well, let's start with the basics. So there is a debate, and I'm so thrilled and delighted to hear that auctions are still a good return on investment. So why should nonprofits continue investing in auctions as part of their overall fundraising strategy? And I hear there's some undeniable value of nonprofit auctions. So I'm excited to hear. I think, Carrie, you want to start with that? Or Sarah, maybe we'll start with you at this time.
Yeah, sure. So it's not a secret that auctions have been, a part of nonprofit fundraising for a really long time. And as Carrie said, people do still question. It's been an ongoing debate for many, many years. It does not seem to be going away. Are they worth the effort? And the report does make it pretty clear. Auctions are worth it. And when they are done well,
underscore well,
they're incredibly lucrative, right? So our data showed us that 77% of nonprofits saw either consistent or increased revenue from auctions last year, and 90% of the nonprofits that hosted auctions said that they expected that trend to continue into the future. So those are some really high
big numbers.
Yeah, that was great to see in the report for sure.
And then when you think about it too, one thing that I'll share with you, the generosity, is that auction donors donated $529. That was the average amount from an auction donor. And even when you think about the different economic uncertainty that we've been in the last several years, really for the last 5 years now, auction donors are giving more. And so half of the auction donors we surveyed said they gave more than usual last year. So it's a pretty big deal. And then in our social donors study, the average social donor was $191. So when you think about auction donors,
Wow.
it's just a big number, 529 compared to 191.
Yes, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And one thing this report kind of really underscores is that auctions aren't just about raising that money, like trying to shift away from that one-time revenue kind of mindset there. They're about building a community, strengthening the community of your supporters. And Carrie said, it feels like we've been saying for a long time, economic uncertainty. We've also been saying for a long time, we need community more than ever. So this is a time when community matters more than ever. Auctions can help you do that, auction events. It's giving nonprofits a chance to really bring people together, whether that's in person, online, to support a cause and really feel connected to something meaningful. And when you feel connected to something meaningful in a room with other people, you feel connected to those other people as well. And that's how communities are built. Wanted to think also about, if you're taking your auction virtual, that's a really great way to reach a broader audience. So whether you're in person, whether you're online, there are benefits to both. So expanding your donor base beyond that local community is how those online auctions can help too. So it doesn't always have to be an in-person thing. Don't forget about online auctions too.
Yeah, I love how the community aspect is coming together in what we're seeing with the data, because it's just so important for the nonprofit sector to be building that. And let's just face it, auctions are fun, right? I mean, you can make a donation that's very transactional, but I don't know, when you're feeling the vibe of an auction and outbid notifications and who's bidding on what and what an increase. Can we just go over that number again from 191 to 529? Is that right? In donation dollars?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. I'm loving it. Okay. So I think that when you said, Sarah, to do auctions well is really what we need to underscore here. So I think knowing your audience and picking items that maybe resonate with them so that there is a story, a fever, a pitch, an excitement. Do we have any data on that? What items are the most engaging for our donors, and how do nonprofits can just maximize their catalog, if you will? Any insights there?
Yeah, I'll just kind of share with you. The report really emphasized the variety of auction items. So what types of items are you bringing? The top bid on items, believe it or not, I'm sure you can just imagine gift cards. People love gift cards. And 33% said they bid on gift cards. It's great because you're
interesting.
Giving for a cause and you're getting something in your local community to go, whether it's to a local restaurant or a local clothing store or an experience. 32% said they bid on dining and culinary experiences. So that's followed right after gift cards at 33%. And then 26% were travel packages. So travel packages are still really popular. There was a tie actually between experiences overall and sports and entertainment at 25%. So when we think about it, gift cards are number one. Then you have that dining and culinary experience. You've got your travel, and then you've got your sports and entertainment and overall experiences. So it's not just offering the most expensive items for people. It's really creating some well-rounded experiences, selections for people to choose from, depending on what they like, what their budgets are.
Yeah. Trying to engage just everyone in the audience, getting the bigger spenders, those luxury packages. Those are what you kind of stereotypically think of about auctions, but there are people there with tighter budgets that want to participate too. Could be through those smaller but desirable items. There was actually direct feedback in the survey. We asked an open-ended question about how auctions could be improved, and we saw people wanted a wider range of items, and then someone directly said, add more items that are obtainable by people of all wealth levels. So directly from an auction donor. It's not us just, giving a tip. That's what someone who was at an auction said. So just getting that wide selection and obtainable by all wealth levels. Just kind of keep that in mind.
Well, I love this as a foundation, right? You're in a room with your committee, your auction committee. You now have a foundation. Let's start with this, right? And then knowing your audience. If you have golfers, well, you want to get your golf items, right? If you have homemakers, well, you want house items, right? Just knowing your audience. And I love that. Think generationally, think different wealths, think a little bit of everything. So it's a great foundation. Okay.
Interesting thing I'll just share is that 20% of the auction attendees bid on item types that people find more stereotypical, which they associate with auctions, artwork, and rare collectibles. So less than 20% of the attendees bid on those items. So they're not going to work for every organization. Again, stick with the gift cards, the dining, the experience, the travel. All of those things do really, really well.
Yeah. And Dawn, you talked about knowing your audience, and that's the biggest part of this, tailoring items to your audience. It's super important. And I use my bird nerd background as an example quite often, which I'm going to do again today, so bear with me. Like, if you are supporting a bird conservation organization, like, those people are, I say those people like me are going to want very different things out of an auction or auction items than, say, for like a health organization. There's going to be a really broad range of interests for someone supporting a health organization, right? Birders are there because they have a pretty focused interest of providing tailored packages like gift cards to a local bird supply store. Yes, those do exist. I frequent one often. Travel packages to really famous birding destinations with like tours included, high-end spotting scopes or camera rigs. So really just items that tie into their reason for supporting your mission in general are going to go over really well. So really think about your audience, think about what is going to appeal to them. So you can tie all of those item types in with a focus.
So the net is, if Sarah Sebastian is invited to your event or auction, make sure you've gone through the bird sanctuary type items and have something on there, because she's going to bid. Is that what we're hearing?
That is correct.
Okay, so good. All right, well, now let's shift gears here a little bit, because auctions are typically, well, not typically, can be tied to an event or a gala. They can be online, as you mentioned earlier, Sarah, but they're typically tied to something that involves ticketing and promotions, and to kind of round out that whole strategy. What was in the report that you explored there, and any insights that we want to share with our audience?
I think let's start with promotion. And when we think about we ask nonprofits, how far ahead do they start promoting the event? And in any kind of marketing campaign, the idea of promoting early is super important, but you have to share the message multiple times in order for it to stick. Well, when we think about promoting an event, over a third of the nonprofits, they actually said they start promoting 60 to 90 days in advance. And about 28% of them said 90 to 120.
Now that's my comfort level.
90 to 120, mine as well. And when we're big fans at One Cause of promoting early, because you get people in and engaged sooner, and knowing about your event and understanding, hey, this is coming up, and getting it on the calendar. But it also gives time for nonprofits to experiment a little bit. And what I like about this is offering different ticket packages, different registration strategies, so you can really plug into group discounts, any kind of promo codes. And Sarah, I know you're a big fan of this from a group. Yes,
we love group discounts, and we always have to give a shout out to Mike Wilkinson and Human Rights Campaign, who shared that they have a group ticketing strategy they implemented with their national dinner. They were seeing this kind of like middle group of attendees that were buying 3 to 5 tickets, not single tickets, not couples tickets, not these huge tables of 10. So they weren't really serving them with the ticket packages that they offered. So they implemented a group discount, and absolutely just overwhelmingly successful. Sold, like, that particular ticket package sold out very quickly, and it takes not a lot of marketing effort. Like, you put it on your registration page, maybe put a little banner up on your site, put it in your email, and people see that and they're like, that's exactly what I want. I want to bring a couple of my friends and get a discount on this, go to this event. Yep.
And you can launch that early, even if you don't have your whole auction and all of your ticket levels built out, especially, shameless plug, if you're using the One Cause fundraising platform, that's so easy to do, right? And then you can keep building from there. And Mike Wilkinson sells out, what is his event? In the thousands? I mean, every year. So he's a good guy to follow, right? So I appreciate that. Okay, can we talk about the debate? To auction or not to auction, right? What shall it be? I'm really hoping that there's overwhelming insight about to auctions. Is it worth the work, guys? What is the data telling us? I mean, I know if it's done well, but what are some of the standout stats out there?
Yeah, when we think about, the different findings that we have, there's just this mindset, this prevailing mindset that events and auctions are at one point in time revenue. And so you think about that revenue generating being one point in time, but actually we know they take a lot of work. And I think that's why some people say they don't think fundraising events should be a thing. But when we look at the long-term potential for the ongoing revenue, it's pretty big. And so I'm going to share a couple of stats here, so bear with me. 82% said they'd attend another event, and 83%
High.
said they were going to likely become annual donors.
Mhm.
And then one more stat that I'll share right now is 64%. So we've got our 82% said they'd go to another event. 83% said they'd be an annual donor. And then 64% said they were likely to become a monthly donor.
Okay,
So
those are impressive numbers.
think about that. Yes, they take a lot of work, but if we're going to be incorporating monthly donors and people coming back, Sarah mentioned community. It's big. 91% said they make another one-time donation in the 12 months after that event.
Yeah.
So just, I think about the key findings, Sarah,
Yeah, these numbers floored us. Both were kind of like jaw dropping as we were looking through everything. It's not a situation where you only measure the donations and like the purchases made on the day of the event. You have to make sure that you're nurturing these donors, that you're tracking their giving in the months and even in the years. I know that sounds like a really kind of like big mind shift or mental shift to kind of look that far out, but in the years following an event. So your auction could be the starting point of a new donor relationship, or it could be the point in the middle of a donor relationship that turns them into a recurring donor if you do that auction well, if you do that nurturing and that community building well at the event. And when people really talk about the work that goes into events, yes, their work. We just talked about that. But if they are done well, they're going to succeed. As we saw in those stats mentioned earlier, 70% or 77% saying that they saw consistent or increased revenue from auctions. So when you really think about fundraising as a whole, it's not easy. You don't hear fundraisers saying fundraising is easy, and event fundraising, auction fundraising, it's a part of fundraising. You don't just slap a donation form on your website and cross your fingers, right? You don't just hastily write an appeal letter with ChatGPT, not make any edits, not make it sound like your voice, and expect to exceed your goals. So you have to talk with your donors, you have to strengthen those relationships, you have to find out their preferences and really constantly fine tune your fundraising tactics. And events and auctions are one of those tactics.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So well said. And I really appreciate that, because I think it's telling us to do something after the auction, right? Don't just close your auction. I mean, we're looking to build community in the nonprofit sector. We're looking for sustainability, recurring gifts. That's the name of the game. If a bidder can do that, and remember, it's not just the winner. A winner could win something for $5,000, but there could be a bidder right underneath that for $4,800 that still has a budget to spend or was willing to spend. So it really is something that we need to nurture and think about. It's not just the revenue, but it's some of these other results about community and sustainability that I'm so excited to hear. Really, all good things. Okay, so something that I see, I'm going to hit you with some hard questions here. In a lot of our webinar surveys and the advanced questions that come in through our webinars is a constant, how do I attract and keep younger generations engaged during events, right? Or during auctions. So I'm hoping there were some insights that we touched on there, because it is just a burning question top of mind. So what do you got for us?
Yeah, I think this is really fun data to see and continue to watch it evolve as the Gen Z and millennials continue to be in the workforce. They're huge drivers of digital engagement. I mean, we all know that. I think there's certain features, technology features that they're looking for and that they favored as part of how they engage and give more. And that's a lot heavier than other generations like Gen X and boomers. I'm going to throw a couple other stats at you.
Please keep them coming.
And these are features that Gen Z and millennials were looking for. 65% wanted outbid notifications via text. So they wanted text messaging, compared to 43% of Gen X and 24% of boomers.
Oh.
And then when you also think about buying items outright at an event or an auction, they really enjoy doing that. 61% said they wanted to buy, fixed price or buy it now so they could just get that item, compared to 39% Gen X and 20% boomers. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of instant gratification. They want to buy it. They're going to buy it now, right? And then another one that we saw was that just think of today's shopping experience when you're on Amazon and it queues up other items that you might like. This was a big one for Gen Z and millennials. About 59% said they wanted to see those suggestions. Like, what are some things that I'm interested in that I'm browsing on, or that I should maybe take a look at, depending on my browsing experience. So 33% Gen X and 16% of boomers were interested in that feature. So
Yeah.
when you think about the overall Amazon experience, or even when you're anything retail now, it's queuing up other things for you to look at. So this was a big piece of really considering other generations.
I'm not Gen Z, but that recommended items in my online retail experience gets me every single time. So I can understand why why it would work. I'm always spending a little bit more than I should be spending. But Sarah, anything to add on that?
I echo that. Like, I actively look for it, especially when I'm shopping for clothes, because I'm like, I can't find anything that I like. Let me just scroll down and see if they suggest anything that's similar to
Or
this
put
thing.
my outfit together for me.
Yeah, like, how do I style this? So it's super helpful, and it obviously drives revenue. We're spending more money on these things. So I look for it when I'm shopping for clothes, shoes, you name it. Totally makes sense to me. And then one other thing that we hear from organizations about, kind of attracting Gen Z and these younger generations to their events, is a gala going to work for us? And maybe a traditional gala won't appeal to everyone, like in those age groups. There's a pretty big age range across Gen Z and millennials when we think about that. Some of those older millennials, like me, like very well might want to go to a gala because they're advancing in their careers. They have a little bit more disposable income, right? But we've also seen some really cool ideas from nonprofits around alternative events that could easily be paired with a silent auction too, to appeal to maybe some of those younger generations that want to get together with a group of their friends. Maybe they don't have a ton of disposable income, but they still want to go have a good time and support a cause. And you could have that auction be online, in person, or both. And one really great idea we saw is from one of our customers, Youth in Need. They started a bingo night to pull in a younger crowd. You can bring outside food, you can bring outside drinks, you can just buy your ticket, come to support a good cause, have a good time. And my favorite part about this, they were super smart about how they incorporated their mission. So their bingo cards, each square had like a fact about the organization and the mission on it. So they really thought about it, and it's been super successful. Like they said, they used to rely on trivia nights, and bingo has become the thing, and people are enjoying it and really coming and supporting this event. So they say it's been super popular. So just an idea for people to try.
Wow, bingo is back.
It is back.
I like bingo rather than trivia night, so I'm all in for bingo, Sarah.
Just go stamp a card. I don't have to think after a long day at work.
And I love the intentionality behind it by, tying it into, the mission. That's real. And I bet sponsors too. You can make the center bingo card a sponsor and lots of things. My wheels are spinning. Wow. I think we probably can talk another hour or so, but I think these are the highlights, right? We don't want to overwhelm our audience. I'm sure there's a lot more in the report. How many pages is the report, Sarah?
20-ish. I'm thinking about the cover and everything. So right around 20, just packed. Yep.
I had a sneak peek, and I know I love what you did this year. You really turned the data into some actionable insights, right? So it's okay. So here's the data, but now here's what you can do. So it's definitely worth the read. We're going to get all the show notes and the links and the resources. We even had a webinar on this that was a little bit more structured into the show notes, but let's go ahead and air that live. How can people download the report?
So you can go straight to onecause.com, and it's on the homepage of our website, or also under research, under the menu of our homepage. Sarah, any other quick tips on how to get to it quicker?
It's just onecause.com/research. And you can click that resources navigation item as well. There's a ton of other stuff there too. Don mentioned the webinar. We have a video, an infographic, a blog. So lots of little goodies to kind of help you figure out how to make your next auction more successful.
So fun. I can't wait to see what next year's research brings. I'm already thinking about it. Well, I really appreciate, Carrie, your leadership in recognizing that we needed this research, and Sarah for just everything that you do. I know it's long hours, long nights analyzing this, because you really want to make this the most helpful tool for nonprofits, and you put so much heart and soul into it. And congratulations. Great job. So fun. And I'm so happy that auctions are back and here to stay, and they can impact our nonprofit friends and fearless fundraisers in such a positive way. So thank you guys so much.
No, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's exciting. Well, that's a wrap. A heartfelt thank you to Carrie and Sarah, and to all of you, our incredible listeners. You are all the heartbeat of Raise Nation Radio. Your stories, your passion, your impact is what makes this community so special. So don't be a stranger. Tune in, reach out, maybe even join us on the show. But until next time, you stay fearless and keep raising the nation. Fearless Fundraisers, that's a wrap for today. A heartfelt thank you to our guests for sharing their stories, insights, and expertise. And to you, our fantastic audience, for everything you do
to build brighter tomorrows in our communities. We hope today's content inspires you to amplify your mission and grow your impact. Don't forget to join us for new episodes every Thursday, wherever you listen to your podcasts, or catch us on YouTube and on demand at onecause.com. And before we go, we'd love your help in growing this podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, follow, and subscribe to Raise Nation Radio. Share it with a friend, and please leave us a review so we can continue delivering content that inspires and empowers. Raise Nation Radio is produced in partnership with One Cause, your go-to for digital fundraising solutions that connect nonprofits with their donors and drive results. Visit onecause.com or scan the QR code to schedule a one-to-one with their fundraising experts and explore the latest tools and innovations to help you reach more and raise more. Plus, be sure to check out their extensive catalog of free resources to support your mission. All the links are in the show notes. Raise Nation Radio is inspired by the annual Raise Conference, presented by One Cause. We'd love to see you in person at the next Raise event in September. It's a 2-day experience featuring over 35 CFRE-accredited sessions, dynamic speakers, and the latest innovations from our sponsor pavilion, and priceless networking opportunities. And while you're there, don't miss the Fearless Fundraiser Party. It's where memories are made and lifelong friendships are formed. Secure your spot today at onecause.com/raise. The link is also in the show notes. Until next time, thank you for tuning in, and as always, stay fearless.